Wow. Hey, peace. This is Brother Mike X Speaks. I'm here tonight with Brother Pastor Davis. And, we want to talk a little bit about that main issue of discussion, the senseless murders up in Newtown, Connecticut. And, we want to add a dimension to that discussion that a lot of people are not talking about. The fact that gun violence is an ongoing phenomenon in the inner cities, in the black and brown neighborhoods. And, there's been just about like a deafening silence from the media and, the people who are supposed to represent us, politicians, a lot of pastors and reverends and others. Like, we're not talking about the fact that, there have been a lot of people killed, and it seems like it's increasing in volume. So, brother, what's your take on that?
Well, if you let's look at the data,
that's bad news.
the leading cause of death for black males between the ages of 12 and 19 is homicide.
Speak up.
All right, and 85% of the time it's by another brother. 75% of the time it's by a gun. So gun violence happens to us disproportionate to anybody else. And we have hundreds of kids dying a year. And it becomes a national outcry the moment 20 white kids, and we feel for them, we love them, we pray for the families. But the moment it becomes, happens to them, it's a national outcry. I love our president, but he shed tears for them. I think he shed tears for all of us, but it's just, to me, it's interesting that he would shed tears when he's from Chicago. And, in the last 3 years, 270 school-age kids have been murdered by guns in Chicago for the last 3 years. 270 compared to 20. So it speaks to politicians and their interests and their silence on something that's devastating our community.
That's right. That's right. Once again, I want to preface, the remarks by saying loss of life is horrible, period. This is in no way being expressed to, dishonor the lives that were lost, to show a lack of sympathy and concern for the families in Newtown, Connecticut. This is in no way being said to,
It shouldn't happen to anybody.
Push that off the table. But as a black American, who lives and grew up in a neighborhood, the projects, like all across this country, you have areas like the neighborhoods that, that I grew up in. And the violence and death rate of many people, it's increasing, from people being shot outright, from stray bullets hitting babies, from stray bullets going through walls, hitting senior citizens, and things are happening on a regular basis. And if we don't speak about it, it's like we're taking it for granted, like it's a natural occurrence. It's like we're accepting this onslaught, this slow death. It might not have been 28 in one fell swoop, but if you compare the numbers on an ongoing basis in the many neighborhoods, the black and brown inner city neighborhoods, the numbers far outweigh, what happened in Newtown, Connecticut. And one of the main issues that I have with this is, why do we as black people accept this? Why do we feel like these are issues, like I shouldn't be bringing this up right now? Like I threw this out on Facebook the other day, and like a lot of people, they just didn't want to deal with it. They brought it back, as if I didn't have a right to speak about this. And I think that it's something with us. It's something within us. It's an acceptance of an inferiority, I think. I think it's an acceptance of a self-hatred. I think it's an acceptance of an inferior role. Like, we're not supposed to speak out on our own concerns. We're supposed to wait for somebody else to speak out on it. And if nobody speaks out on it, then it doesn't get spoken out on. And, what do you think about that, bro?
Well, I think it's an issue of self-hate. I think it's not just the fact that we don't speak out, but black leadership doesn't speak out about it. Those who have been self-appointed, the clergy, as you mentioned, the civil rights leaders, the vestiges of civil rights leaders, they are more interested in camera time, FaceTime, making money, but not really advocating these positions. So there's no voice. And if there's no one shaping the consciousness, shaping the dialogue, then people become silent or dormant. In order for there to be dialogue, somebody has to shape it. And that's why we're here on YouTube, on Facebook, Twitter, wherever else we can get this message out there. Start creating the dialogue, forcing it on people that we have to consider this, because our young children are dying disproportionately. And like I said earlier, the 20 children that died, we pray for the families, we love the families. It's not about us versus them, but it is ironic that now all of a sudden we have strong advocacy for gun law change when we've been killed, our kids have been killed on a daily basis.
That's right. That's right. That's right. So I say, to you, the viewers, particularly black and brown people, black people, Spanish people in the inner cities in particular, since we already know a lot of times that we're not going to get our issues addressed by the political leaders, those who are in the mainstream media, on the news and talk shows, on the radio shows, we have to take it upon ourselves to begin to discuss these things. And we have to give ourselves permission to feel that we can discuss these things. You don't have to be a doctor. You don't have to be a lawyer. You don't have to have college degrees and high price, three-piece suits with the fancy ties and the expensive, shoes and clothes and all of that. You just have to have a voice, and you just have to have some type of self-concern, for our communities and our people, start using that voice. Start, using YouTube. Start using Facebook. Start in your own little circles. Begin to talk about these issues. It's interesting to me that we can talk about the most trivial things, but when it comes to matters of life and death in our neighborhoods, it seems like too many of us don't have a voice. And if we continue on that type of pattern and we continue to put all of the onus on Obama to wave some type of magic wand to change things, or for somehow, I guess, the passing of time, to be the agent of change, hopefully as time passes, things just change by themselves. If we have that type of belief, I guarantee you that things are not going to get better, but they're going to get much worse. So, brother, you have any closing comments on this issue right here?
There's 100 million guns out in America. A lot of these guns are in our communities, in the hands of our young boys. They're dealing with the issues of self-hate. If we have love for ourselves, we would act and do something about it. Not everybody's guilty, but we're all responsible, and it's time to be responsible.
All right. So, I say again, this YouTube channel, Brother Mike X Speaks, is being promoted to give us a voice. It's not just about me, it's not just about Pastor Davis, it's about all of us learning how to have dialogue with one another. That's how action starts. That's how plans are brought about. That's how organization comes into effect, where we begin to learn how to work with each other instead of working against each other. Or just mainly existing and having things done to us with no reply from us. So we have to dialogue, and give me your thoughts, give me your opinions on what you're hearing on this channel, and let's keep it going. Thank you for coming on this YouTube channel. All right. Peace.